June 13th. This is Jaguars Happy Hour. Jaguars Happy Hour is brought to you by Ancient City Brewing. And now, a guy whose favorite thing about a jumbo shrimp game is ice cream in a batting helmet. I mean, a real batting helmet. J.P. Shadrick.
And welcome in. It is Jaguars Happy Hour. It is our final show of the offseason program. It is Thursday, June 13th. J.P. Shadrick with you. Coming up, the offseason program coming to a close this week. Contract discussions. Well, we know one key position has been in the news. What others could be in play, maybe, in this offseason? We'll keep it real with that discussion and Microsoft questions coming up. Jaguars Happy Hour brought to you by Ancient City Brewing. Taste history, make history. We're on 1010XL AM, Jaguars.com, Jaguars YouTube. J.P. Shadrick back in the same room with Jeff Lageman. It's been a couple weeks, and you got the memo about the same shirt.
I did.
That's great.
We're looking good, man.
Yes, we are.
Good. We actually even have shirts that are ironed. No wrinkles. We're looking dapper.
Absolutely. Nothing but the best for our video audience.
That's right.
Yeah, mug to the camera. That's fine.
We look fantastic.
We do. Ancient City Brewing. Taste history, make history. Love that place, obviously.
Love that beer.
We need to get some samples.
Just saying.
Our next show will be, the start of August. So
just saying, Greg.
We got plenty of room in the studio for
I'm thinking a flight right across the table from here to here.
Yeah.
Every Thursday.
Yeah. I don't mind
about 6 ounces, each pour.
6 ounces a pour.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. About 9. I got room for 9 here in front of me.
9 times 6, that's 54 ounces.
Yeah. It's just a couple beers.
The FCC's going to love you.
Yeah. If I forget the Uber. Yeah.
You're going to have to get one of those, probably.
The Uber. Yeah,
good idea.
I love the beer. Got to admit. Got a big fan of the beer.
Anastasia Island style IPA.
I like the IPA. I like the red. Got to say, big fan.
Off-season program is in the books. OTA's done. The minicamp this week didn't feature many of the veterans. A few of the guys that are new to the system were around. No helmets. Inside in the air conditioning the first 2 days and then finished on the field Wednesday.
Can I go into my old guy rant?
What is so funny?
I was, because, you look at what's happening in New York with Aaron Rodgers, who doesn't show up for the mandatory minicamp.
Yeah.
And it's back page, which is essentially the front page of the New York newspaper, and it's huge. They've got these catchy titles and everything about Aaron Rodgers, and all of a sudden – in Jacksonville, there's like 30-something guys that are excused from minicamp.
That's right.
Complete polar opposites of what's happening. And for the Jaguars offseason, they took the helmets off. A very different offseason, a very different approach, I think a conservative, safe approach, trying to prevent injury, trying to gain a lot of really good work, but being cautious. And some of the old school guys would probably be sitting there going, these guys are getting soft. And I was kind of joking around with Leon Searcy the other day. I said, Leon, and it was right before the first practice, and we were kind of hanging out outside the Miller Electric Center and getting ready to go in. And he says, we going this way? I said, no, Leon. I said, it's too hot. It's too hot. We're got to have practice inside. He says, you joking, right? I'm like, no. Are you kidding me? I said, no, I'm serious. So yeah, some of the old guys would have some fun with that. But, look, I personally liked the air conditioning Monday and Tuesday, I got to admit.
Well, it took the helmets off, and I think that in turn might maybe slow the tempo down a little bit. There's some younger guys that want to show some things off and put some things on tape, right? And
it doesn't have to be a younger guy.
But without a helmet, okay, you really have to step it back because there are certain rules in the offseason, no contact, and you can't do certain things. And we've seen teams get banged practices and fines and all that stuff. So
you've seen teams end up losing some of their practice time because NFL Players Association, who obviously keeps an eye on all of these things deems a practice may be overly physical, and then they lose some time, or I don't know if they can be actually subject to fines. I'm sure they probably could. Yeah. The team could, but Doug Peterson, I think it all goes back to what Doug Peterson, you go back to the very beginning part of some of the OTAs, and he was asked about what's the objective with these OTAs, and the first answer out of his mouth was to stay healthy. Mm-hmm. It's stay healthy. And so you can tell what's on the forefront of his mind because, look, they got a lot of really good work in. The OTAs, the weight room stuff, all really good stuff. And I think sometimes you got to be careful and be a little bit conservative this time of year because, the last thing you need to do because, look, you have a limited pool of money, salary cap to assemble a roster, and if all of a sudden you lose one or two frontline players, it's not like you can, like going to the grocery store, okay, you had a couple, a gallon of milk go bad and then a loaf of bread get mold. You can't go to the grocery store and just pull a couple more off of the shelf and say, hey, we're good. We got a new gallon of milk and we got this nice Wonder Bread and we're fine. You can't. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work. JP.
Thank you.
Not that players are groceries, but you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, you're replacing. You're going from a real high quality gallon of milk down to like goat's milk or something.
What's wrong with goat's milk?
I don't know. I've never had goat's milk. Have you?
I'm sure I have at some point.
I don't know. I've had goat cheese.
No, it's the same thing.
So I guess that's goat milk, right?
It's got to be the same thing.
Okay, all right.
I'm not really an expert on dairy.
Neither am I. I'm not an expert on cheese either. I'm definitely not an expert on goats.
Let's hear.
Now, Joe is. I hear my buddy Joe Fortunato is an expert on goats.
Maybe so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because he is one.
He is the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah, radio producer, no doubt.
Let's hear from Josh Allen. He was one of the veteran players in attendance at mandatory minicamp because he wasn't around for the OTA periods, and he was out in Arizona doing work on his own. He is back, new contract in hand, and the mindset, though, has not changed.
So he has everything that you really want and need in a defensive tackle. I'm excited to play against him. Obviously, he played at a high level for so long out there in San Fran. He played with Nick, so he's played with guys that played at a very high level. For me, I want him to show, I want to show him that I ain't no Nick, but I'm Josh. And it's a bad boy. It's a bad boy right here. And I play the game my way. You know what I'm saying? And I want him to see that. And I want him to know that, when you get to the Super Bowl, we're going to win it.
All right, that's the mindset from Josh Allen. Talking about Eric Armstead, the addition on the defensive line there with him, and, of course, Travon Walker. That's some talent now on this defensive line.
First off, Josh looks big. I think he looks very similar to last year, so whatever he's doing out there in Arizona, it's a very similar kind of a deal to where he seems to get bigger. And then last year it really worked for him, and so he's going back to do that again. And, a lot of veteran guys might end up coming to a mandatory minicamp that did not attend OTAs and kind of have a bad attitude about it because they're like, I don't need to be doing this. I'm a great player. I don't need this. Well, Josh is, you watch Josh in practice, it's full speed, man. Full speed with Josh. And that's what I appreciate about Josh. He's a total team guy. And he's got a system that works for him. That's why he trains in Arizona. And the team is okay with that. If you're going to give us 17 sacks, man, you could go train in Alaska for all I care, as long as you come back and you're in great shape. And, yes, it's a new scheme, but he was here early on, and he's getting all the information that he needs, and that's why he was here for minicamp. And it's good, too. Look, he wasn't the only veteran that was out there in minicamp. There were some other veterans out there as well. Gabe Davis, a guy that's coming back from an injury, because the veterans that were healthy all kind of got excused, that were, starters, but there was some new guys or guys that were rehabbing that were at the mandatory minicamp, and that's fine.
Makes sense to me. And did you like what you heard from Josh Allen, though, about
look, everything that comes out of Josh's mouth is he's a good guy. He is what you call a locker room building block. Because he's just a good guy. He's a high-quality character guy. And the more people that you have like that, the better chance of success that you have in this game, because those are the guys that keep the locker room the way it should be, or the way it needs to be, I think is a better way to put it.
We're on 1010XL AM, Jaguars.com, Jaguars YouTube. It's Jaguars Happy Hour. JP Shadrick with Jeff Lageman. Let's flip it to the offensive side now. And offensive coordinator Press Taylor speaking with the media this week at the end of the offseason program. What did they get accomplished on offense the last couple months?
I think we've established a tempo. And that's something that, not necessarily like no huddle, but a tempo in and out of the huddle. The way we want to meet, just establishing our standard for this is what it looks like. Now, we'd love to say we established this physicality that we're going to be, but that's just not real right now. So there's certain things of the tempo, the way we communicate, in and out of the huddle, playing at the line of scrimmage. There's a couple different things that I feel confident we've been able to do. And then, like we talked about, just our run progression of this is our starting point, this is how we build on this is how it all fits together, to where there's more understanding. It's not memorization. It's now we understand why this word means this, how this relates to that, and our blocking schemes are the same, our combinations are the same.
It's Press Taylor, offensive coordinator. All the availabilities at Jaguars.com and Jaguars YouTube. A lot of that is Trevor Lawrence, of course. We'll get to the discussion of the contract negotiations a little bit later, but what did you think from Press Taylor? Does that make sense this time of year?
Well, a couple things, and he pointed out that trying to get more physical, that's not realistic at this point because, again, as you alluded to, there's no helmets, there's no pads. Obviously, it's the off season, so I really believe that this offense wants to become a physical, run the ball kind of an offense, and the more that they can accomplish in that area, I think the more dynamic and dangerous that they can be in the passing game. Because if you follow football long enough, you'll realize that the majority of big plays with offenses happen with play action. I mean, they really do. Play action. And so if you're running the ball effectively, then the defenses are buying in that you're going to run the ball, and they're acting accordingly. Twofold. One, the scheme is going to be built from a defensive standpoint to stop your run if you're good at it. Mm-hmm. And then number two, also the mindset of the defense is more coming forward to stop a really successful running game. And so that allows your deep routes and play action to become effective. And here's the reality. You've got two studs. I mean, two studs. And Gabe Davis, number one, who they acquired in free agency from Buffalo, who has a very crafty way of getting deep without having burner speed. And then Brian Thomas Jr., who has legit speed, as we're watching him now on the monitor. I mean, you add those two guys to this offense, and I made this statement earlier in the week as I was talking to somebody, in that I think that this is going to be Trevor Lawrence's best arsenal of weapons that he has had to date. You have Gabe Davis, Brian Thomas Jr. I'm going to put Parker Washington into that mix because I think
he stepped up?
I think he's going to take a big step forward in this offense. And then, of course, Christian Kirk is along, super dependable. Evan Ingram, super dependable. But, I mean, you had all these guys together. And if you have the foundation of a good running game, then all these guys are going to be extremely, extremely that much better than what they could have been with an offense that's just wanting to be pass first all the time. So I'm excited to watch this offense. And first and foremost, I'm excited to see what the result of this offseason of deconstruction and then reconstruction holds, because that's what they talked about, kind of tearing it down from all the way down to the studs and then rebuilding the framework and the mindset of this offense.
It all starts, though, Logs, and you know this.
16.
Well, yes. But for him to be able to cook like you want, you got to have that offensive line to give him time to do it and to push it and run, and everything starts there. And you just don't know until you start pushing people around.
That's the and for people here, just a little tease, because John Osher does a great job on Jaguars.com of
who?
Johnny O, man.
Yeah,
Johnny
O's.
Ozone.
I'm kidding, of course.
And I read everything he writes because he does a great job. There's certain things that I may miss, and then he just picks it up. And it's great to read. And he does some of the things where he collects the thoughts of others in the media, you included, me as well. And he had kind of a list of 10 different questions for us to answer, which
There's
is
a series coming up this summer.
It's going to be coming up here on Jaguars.com. And one of the questions is what is your biggest concern going into 2024? My biggest concern on offense, anyway, was the offensive line. Where will they be at? Can they take a step up from where they were at last year without having a ton of change? I mean, you've added Mitch Morse at center position. I'm very confident in a lot of these guys that they can take a step forward. But, the reality is, JP, got to see it.
Got to see it. Got to see production. Well, you can have Jaguars game day your way, Logs. Deciding on your favorite matchups has never been easier with Bundle at the Bank. You can get tickets to 3 or more games starting at just $58 per game, and seats are selling fast. Visit Jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. Back in a moment, we'll hear from Jaguars reserve quarterback Mac Jones. And it's Jaguars Happy Hour brought to you by Ancient City Brewing. Taste history, make history.
Ancient City Brewing is celebrating 30 years of Jags football by becoming the proud craft beer partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. And what better way to celebrate a throwback year than to throw back some of their expertly crafted beers? From Augustine's Orange Amber Ale to their Castillo Coconut Porter, there's always something new to discover at Ancient City Brewing, including the new First and Gold Golden Ale, coming soon to a Duval County store near you. Ancient City Brewing, taste history, make history, and please always drink responsibly.
Have you been looking for a way to positively impact the youth in our community? Become a Take Stock in Children mentor today. For 25 years, Goodwill's Take Stock program has been changing the lives of middle and high school students in Duval, Putnam, and Swanee counties. It offers support through mentoring, college tuition scholarships, and so much more. Take Stock is growing rapidly, and more mentors are needed. For just 1 hour a month during the school year, you can help shape a brighter future. To learn more and apply to be a mentor, visit goodwillnorth-fl.org.
It's not about how you start the job. It's about finishing what you start. The Ford F-150 truck can help. Get the freedom to choose between available gas, Power Boost Hybrid, or all-electric powertrains, all delivering the power, capability, and efficiency needed to get the job done right. Just another reason why Ford F-Series is the best-selling truck in America 47 straight years. Ford F-150, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The Jaguars bring performance, strength, and passion to every play. And you'll find the same when you bank with EverBank. Open an EverBank Performance Savings account and score serious savings. See what you could earn at everbank.com/Jaguars. EverBank, Advantage You. Member FDIC and the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Since 2014, there's been only one official home builder of the Jaguars, Dreamfinders Homes. With quality-built homes and a speedy move-in process, we're in 20-plus communities in the best locations across Northeast Florida. Dreamfinders Homes is everywhere you want to live. So get off the sidelines, Jags fans, and get into the game. Let Dreamfinders help you navigate your home purchase and offer great interest rates. Visit DreamfindersHomes.com for all your move-in ready homes and step up your game.
Don't get sacked by a no-name propane rookie, Jacksonville. Draft an all-star and switch to AmeriGas, the official propane provider of the Jacksonville Jaguars and the homes and businesses who know it was always the Jags. Show off your Duval pride at your next tailgate with a Jaguars grill tank from AmeriGas. To find an AmeriGas exchange location near you or to order a propane fill-up for your home or business, visit AmeriGas.com/Jacksonville-Jaguars or call 844-PRO-JAGS.
Welcome back. It is Jaguars Happy Hour brought to you by Ancient City Brewing. Taste history, make history, and Premier Soccer in a premier venue. Premier League is coming to Everbank Stadium July 27th. Wolverhampton and West Ham compete for the Stateside Cup. Tickets on sale now. EverbankStadium.com. We got to get Log's mic on. Or maybe we don't.
That might be a better show if my mic is off in some cases, I can tell you.
Yeah, it'll be a fun match, I think.
Should be. Is that what you call it? Not a game?
I mean, they're all games, but yeah, match is, I think, the proper term.
Like in if you go to a high level soccer game in the UK,
Premier League, like
Premier
we just
League,
talked about.
What do you call that? A match?
That's a match. Yeah, it's a match.
Are you looked down upon if you call it a game?
You're looked at as an American.
Okay.
So, you know.
I just, and then there's like another term, they call it a friendly, which is a game that doesn't count, but there's a score.
It's like a preseason game.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Just trying to get the lingo down. So is this considered a friendly that's going to be going on here at Everbank?
Yes.
So
it's like a preseason game.
So it shouldn't be called a match or a game. It should be called a friendly in reality.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, that's cool.
It'll be on the pitch at Everbank.
At the what?
On the pitch.
That's the term
field.
For the term for the field.
It's the first time you've ever heard any soccer terminology at all?
I'm just, what? Here's the thing, JP, and I'm going to be honest here.
You've been to Fulham games.
This is very truthful. I'm having a very truthful moment here. A little bit of a flashback.
I can't wait.
Okay. So when I was a young man in elementary school, we actually got a letter grade for PE. Right? And
everybody. Yeah. Everybody
right. And so
did.
you had to take a test.
Oh.
Right? You had to take it like a written test.
Okay. About?
Well, whatever was the topic or the sport of that period, that grading period. Mm-hmm. And during the grading period, I can't remember which grade this was. I want to say it was in middle school because that's when I kind of got a little astray off the path a little bit. And I got an F in PE.
In PE?
Yeah.
Really?
I did.
Well, dare I ask how?
Well, if you have a test on soccer, you might want to study for it. At least look at the materials a little bit, correct?
Maybe.
I didn't.
And you failed.
And I got an F. I got an F in PE. Is that terrible?
It's pretty bad.
It is pretty bad.
Yeah.
So if I had actually paid attention, I might know that it is called a pitch and a match.
Well, now you
instead
know.
of a game and a field.
Well, now you know. The more you know.
I kind of kept that from my mom and dad too.
They're just now finding out. He's just now finding out. He's in Texas watching, just finding out.
You didn't have a report card that had
Dad.
all of the subjects like down on a list, right? It was individual papers.
Yeah.
And then they had carbon copied. So like when the teacher wrote the grade letter of that period, it was carbon copied on the one below. And then so the next period, it was carbon copied. So then somehow my PE grading period report card got lost.
I think most of our viewers, at least on YouTube, probably don't even know what the hell carbon copying is.
You don't think so?
Probably not. That doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, so that report card got lost, and then the next grading period, that one came back, and somehow I got a B.
Wow!
In that previous grading period.
What else did you fail in school?
Never.
This is our last.
I've never failed anything else. Never.
Good.
No, I was straight A student, honor roll student, but I was not very honorable with my parents when I carbon copied that F into a B. That following grading period. But overall, JP, my PE grade for the year was a B. I couldn't get an A because of that one grading period that I got an F because I didn't and was not prepared for the soccer test, the written test. But I'm glad I'm getting an education here.
Well, we're glad to help.
We got enough sidetrack going there, so now we can probably return back to football.
Let's return back to normal programming now on 1010XL AM, Jaguars.com, Jaguars YouTube. That's Jeff Lageman. I'm JP Shadrick. And Mac Jones is now with the Jaguars, traded over from the New England Patriots, former first-round pick. I caught up with him after the final practice of mandatory minicamp this week and asked him a bunch of things about a new role as a reserve quarterback and his initial impressions of Jacksonville, his hometown.
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, first of all, the weather's been awesome. It's a little hot, but I know it's going to get hotter, and just the organization's done a great job, very organized. from the strength and conditioning to the meetings to the practice. So everyone's on the same page, which is always a good start.
Let's rewind a little bit, not too much. We're going to look forward a little bit later. But when you got the news that you were being traded and getting a new beginning in a place where you know there's an established starting quarterback, what was your reaction to that?
Yeah, I was excited. I mean, I've known Trevor for a long time and played against him. Now I'm playing with him, so it's really awesome. And he's a great quarterback. CJ's done a great job, too, just being a mentor for both of us. And thanks, Tank. But yeah, it's been awesome. I mean, what a great room with great coaches too. I mean, obviously Coach Peterson and Press, and then Mike McCoy's obviously been a head coach, played quarterback, been a coordinator, and then Andrew Briner. So we got a good little squad from head to toe, and hopefully we can just keep meshing and making everything work.
Doug Peterson was a reserve quarterback most of his career in the NFL. So if you guys had that kind of conversation, how do you have to change your mindset in that role?
Yeah, for sure. We definitely talked about it a little bit, and he has great stories and experiences himself. So you're always trying to learn from somebody, and in that room there's just so much knowledge. So it's always fun to hear a good story, whether that was when he was the backup or head coach, in Philly or wherever. So it's always good to learn, and I'm just happy to be with an offensive coach, and it's kind of fun to just talk offensive football for once.
Mac, how difficult is it to learn a new offense? You haven't had to do it much in your career. I mean, long time at Alabama, of course, New England, and now here in Jacksonville.
Yeah, I mean, I've been drawing plays since I was 5 years old, so it's kind of my thing. I know my mom tells the story, but I used to draw the plays and put them underneath my bed and hide them so no one could find them. So I've always loved offense. I've always enjoyed the history of offenses, and I've been fortunate to be in some good ones and also some not so good ones. So you learn from really good experience and really bad experience, and that's what I can bring to the table. Is everything's a learning experience. And Trevor's played a lot of football, and I'm fortunate I played a good amount myself, and I feel like we can go back and forth and give each other ideas.
What stands out about the receiving core here? Maybe some guys that maybe caught your eye in the last couple of months.
Oh yeah, definitely. Christian Kirk and Evan and everybody, and Gabe coming in. I played against him in Buffalo, and he's a great player. They all kind of set that standard for the younger guys, and I've been impressed with a lot of the younger guys, even some of the undrafted guys, to come in here. It's my 4th year, it's their first, so I've kind of been in those shoes and worked with different undrafted guys, and I think this is definitely one of the most impressive groups from not only a mental standpoint, but physical and being able to get open, catch the ball. So I've been really pleased with the guys.
All right, off-season, back in your hometown.
Yeah.
What are the plans, and what do you need to do to be ready for training camp?
Yeah, it's definitely adjust my schedule a little bit, just make sure I'm super primed and ready for preseason, because I'm sure I'll get some chances to play there, and really just bring the guys along with me, and obviously enjoy time with my family. But it's hard to turn off football, but I'm going to do that as best I can, and continue to grow, continue to learn, watch film, get with the guys. It's nice when Trevor's here. We both live here, so we can get together, throw, do all the things that kind of separates you from other teams.
What's the best part about being back in Jacksonville as a city?
I mean, my family's right down the road. I can't complain about that. I think just the weather, honestly, like being able to go outside and just go on a walk is nice, and just do the fun things outside, go to the beach, play a little bit of golf. So it's a great city, kind of good for me right now, just low-key, and get back to my roots and kind of find myself again.
Thanks for the time. Good luck to you.
No problem. Thank you.
That's Mac Jones, of course. The conversation on Jaguars.com and Jaguars social media. That was Tank Bigsby who yelled in the middle of the conversation. Auburn running back. Played against each other in the Iron Bowl in 2020. But Bowl School product, of course. Mac Jones from here in Jacksonville, back in his hometown now. And I just find it interesting. A guy who was a starter, a first-round pick in the NFL, all of a sudden he's at a place where he will not be the starting quarterback here.
Well, and that's definitely going to be an adjustment for him. And just from my eyes, watching him on the field, he is a big step up from C.J. Beathard. And that's no offense to C.J. I mean, C.J.'s a very capable backup. But Mac Jones's arm is just different. He's more athletic than C.J. He's got more arm talent than C.J. Clearly, this was a really good trade executed by Trent Baalke and the Jaguars. For a couple reasons. One, he's a quality player. You hate to say this, but look, if something happens to Trevor, you've got a starting caliber quarterback that's on your roster, number one. Number two, you only gave up, I believe, a 6th-round pick for him. So all of a sudden, after having him for a year, let's say he leaves, your compensatory pick is probably going to be much greater than a 6th-round pick for him. Or you end up keeping him and signing him long-term to be a backup quarterback, or in the short term, either way. This total win-win for this organization. opportunity for him, like you said, find himself to kind of get back and be, playing ball and being a quarterback. And I think this is a good situation for him. I remember watching him when he was in high school, playing at Bowles. And obviously Bowles didn't exactly wasn't a passer-friendly offense. This was a ground-and-pound offense that they had, with the Bowles School program. But he clearly stood out. And I remember asking a friend of mine at one of the games, I was like, who's that quarterback? He's pretty darn good. And he says, that's his kid, Mac Jones. And I was like, nah, he's pretty darn good. And he actually throws the ball really well. And he said, yeah, he's going to Alabama. And I said, well, he's pretty good. He's fun to watch. I mean, so he definitely stood out when he was back at Bowles. And, I'm glad this organization has him. I think he's going to be a very valuable asset to have.
Yeah, and, to your example there, if for some reason Trevor's out for 3, 4, whatever games, a few games in a row, he gets in there and plays at a high level, then all of a sudden Trevor's back in.
The trade value.
Here comes the trade dedeadline at some point.
Rob Johnson, you got Fred Taylor for Rob Johnson.
That's right.
Going back a few years. But this is, I think, an outstanding trade that they executed. I think in the offseason, I give Trent a lot of credit in two of the trades that he did this offseason were really good. I think the Mac Jones is number one, and then you look at the Brian Thomas Jr. trade in the first round to move back and to still get him and pick up all that extra equity. I mean, those were two, I think, outstanding trades for this organization.
We're back in a moment, and we'll keep it real, as we usually do, and get into contract discussions around the quarterback and maybe some other positions coming up in this offseason. Jaguars Happy Hour brought to you by Ancient City Brewing. Taste history, make history.
Ancient City Brewing is celebrating 30 years of Jags football by becoming the proud craft beer partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. And what better way to celebrate a throwback year than to throw back some of their expertly crafted beers? From Augustine's Orange Amber Ale to their Castillo Coconut Porter, there's always something new to discover at Ancient City Brewing, including the new First and Gold Golden Ale, coming soon to a Duval County store near you. Ancient City Brewing, taste history, make history, and please always drink responsibly.
The Jaguars bring performance, strength, and passion to every play. And you'll find the same when you bank with EverBank. Open an EverBank Performance Savings account and score serious savings. See what you could earn at everbank.com/Jaguars. EverBank, advantage you. Member FDIC and the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Hi, this is Walker Little from the Jacksonville Jaguars. If you need to make room to watch football in your home or need a place to park your boat or RV, store it at Atlantic Self Storage, the official storage partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Over 50 locations in Northeast Florida, free 24-hour access, month-to-month leases. They make storage easy. Go to AtlanticSelfStorage.com or call 877-WE-STORE to find out why they're Jacksonville's #1 pick for storage.
Mr. Chubby's Wings is a whole lot more than just wings. Craving the ultimate game day experience? Look no further. Swing by Mr. Chubby's and indulge in the biggest and best wings in town, all while soaking up the lively atmosphere with fellow sports fans. With plenty of game day specials and locations on the West Side, Fleming Island, Ponte Vedra Beach, and new this season, EverBank Stadium, they're here for all your game day needs. Mr. Chubby's Wings is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Mr. Chubby's Wings, before the game, after the game, and during the game.
As the official supermarket of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Publix is helping fans gear up for game day with the limited-time Jaguars sub. Piled high with hot deli chicken tenders, boar's head bacon, cheddar cheese, coleslaw, and barbecue mayonnaise on a white sub roll. The Jaguars sub is an easy, delicious meal for any fan. Make it an ultimate game day by ordering the Jaguars sub online for in-store pickup. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Chelsea here from Renewal by Andersen, where we deliver custom-designed energy savings windows and doors. Did you know our unique Fibrix material combines elegance and resilience, offering double the strength of traditional vinyl? Now through June, buy one window or patio door and receive 40% off, plus 0 down, 0 monthly payments, and 0 interest for 12 months. Restrictions apply. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit rbafla.com for details. License number CGC 1527613.
Jaguars Happy Hour brought to you by Ancient City Brewing. Taste history, make history. JP Shadrick, Jeff Lageman. We're on 1010XLAN, Jaguars.com, Jaguars YouTube. Our final show until August.
Wow. We got a little bit of a vacation.
We do.
When's the official first day of training camp?
I think they report July 23rd,
okay.
Tuesday.
Okay.
On the field the 24th. There's that acclimation period for a few days.
Mm-hmm.
And I think pads are at some point the next week. So
yeah, I am looking forward to training camp this year. This team, I think, is you think you know a lot of answers when you watch the offseason and the OTAs, but you really don't know until you get the pads on.
Yeah.
Especially for this football team, because, you know, at the conclusion of last year, the two biggest questions or concerns that we had is that this football team, are they physical enough on defense and are they physical enough on offense? And it's hard to tell if they've accomplished those goals until you actually see them in pads. And so now on paper, it looks like they have gotten bigger, stronger, more physical. But until you see it, you just won't know for sure. I'm excited to watch some of these guys too, man. I really am.
Who?
The first of all, Brian Thomas Jr. I can't wait. Jordan Jefferson, big nose tackle, and his running mate from LSU, the two defensive tackles.
Mason Smith.
I can't wait. I mean, Mason Smith has shown to me in OTAs. Now, look, I want to make a disclaimer here. This is the Underwear Olympics.
Yeah.
Okay? There's no helmets. There's no pads.
Uh-huh.
But he's got quick feet, and he's got size. And I think he's going to be a big part of that defensive tackle spot because, you know, they're making that change this year to the defense where they're going to 4-3. Eric Armstead's probably going to be playing left defensive end or right defensive end, whatever the 5 technique end is. And then you're going to have Josh and Travon kind of sharing that role in a base defense, sharing that role of the open side defensive end or what we call the eagle side defensive end. And Pete Carroll's defense back with the 49ers, they used to call it the elephant or E. Okay, just a word that starts with the letter E for eagle end.
Okay.
And a little history there for you.
Thanks a lot.
But it's going to be exciting to watch Mason because he's going to have a big role in the base defense. And then obviously once you get to the sub downs, Eric Armstead's going to be kicking down into the inside. I think Travon's even going to be getting some reps on the inside. And then I want to see what Mason's going to be able to do on the inside as well because he's a big, long, strong guy. And then Travon and Josh are going to be on the outside. And then you can also, again, Travis Gibson's a guy that you signed in free agency that can get some reps and give you some quality reps on the outside. So this is going to be a fun unit to watch. I think it's going to be a definitely bigger and stronger, more physical unit this year on defense. And I feel more confident about the increased power and physical nature on defense. Offense, I'm not sure. I want to see it.
It's time to keep it real. Insert sponsor here. We're talking about contracts.
Well, yours or mine?
Not mine.
Oh. We're like pennies compared to the one I think we're getting ready to go to.
Right. Well, they have been open about the conversations between Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars. Both sides have talked about
and here's
this.
the thing, just real quick about that, because I know we're going to talk about some of the other guys that are in a basically a contract situation. There's a lot of talk about Trevor's contract, but it's coming from Trevor and it's coming from the organization.
Yes.
when it's coming from both, the old saying, where there's smoke, there's fire, I think that this is an imminent deal. I think that this could happen in the next couple weeks. I think before this team gets to training camp, I think we're going to be looking at that this team's going to have a roadmap to their future because they have their franchise quarterback locked up.
Okay.
Because that's the first duck that has to fall for you to have a plan as far as what you can spend the money on with the rest of your team.
Correct. Yeah, for the next however many years.
It's going to be big money.
Deal. It won't be small.
What did Jared Goff get?
A lot. I'd have to look.
I want to say Jared Goff got like 52, or is that somebody's around 52? Is it Jared Goff?
Goff got 4 years, $212 million.
There you go. That's
a lot of money.
52.
Yeah.
Okay. Trevor's will be more than that. I mean, that's a lot of money.
Yes, I'm aware of that.
And he's won how many playoff games?
One.
So, I mean, to play devil's advocate here, some people may end up saying, why would you give, somebody who's only won one playoff game all that money? And it's just, look, he's a franchise quarterback, and he's your franchise quarterback. He was hurt a lot last year. They feel very confident that he can be the franchise quarterback. I'm very confident that he can be the franchise quarterback. I know he's got the mental makeup. I don't think there's any questioning that. And you think you can do better?
Oh, yeah. You don't want to restart the process, do you? That's the alternative.
I mean, really? Look, I think he's a franchise guy, and I think that they get it done before training camp.
All right. Let's keep it real. And some of these other players that could be possibilities to either redo or before their free agent year of 2025, maybe it's the last year of their current deal. In theory, you could negotiate with some others.
There's some names like, let's see, Cisco.
Here's the list of free agents in 2025.
What do you got?
Cam Robinson will be a free agent.
Okay, Walker
season.
Little, right? Same
Walker
deal.
Little also.
Okay, so stay of that position group.
Brandon Sheriff.
Yeah, I think you'll let that contract expire. You're not. I think that's one of those things you wait and see with him.
Tyson Campbell.
That's one I think you got to look at getting done. I mean, he's a premium position, number one. He's played very well at times. Didn't have a healthy year last year, I think, which gives you an opportunity there. When I say when it gives you an opportunity there, then I think it gives you an opportunity maybe to get him a little bit below what he would be demanding or commanding if he had a really good 2023. So I think that's a strong possibility.
Andre Cisco.
I like Cisco. a lot. Now, the shoulders held him back a little bit last year along the lines of Tyson Campbell. But great ball skills. Got size. He's been a good tackler on the back end. I think he's a guy that you want to try to lock up. But the question with him is that, do you want to spend a lot of money at safety? Because some teams have the mindset that that's not a position that you spend a ton of money on.
Especially if you're going to have to spend it at corner.
Corner, you got to spend it on.
Yeah.
I mean, but look, if you had a Hamilton, like the Baltimore Ravens have.
Yes.
Okay, that's different.
Because he's not playing just safety.
That's different.
He's not playing center field.
Yeah,
he's up
different.
on the line. He's blitzing. He's all over the place.
Give me a list of the Jaguars safeties that they have on the roster right now. Okay. I'm going to give you one. Antonio Johnson.
Okay.
Feel pretty good about him, right?
Yeah.
Young player.
I think so. Young guy. Right?
Okay, young guy. Feel pretty good about. Andrew Wingard. Team captain.
Yeah, plays special teams.
Well, and the reality is that if you looked at his PFF rating the last couple of years when he's been on the field as a safety,
played well.
He's played really well.
Daniel Thomas,
top end special teamer. Glad they extended him.
Darnell Savage joined in free
agent. So I mean, the question is do you want to get into that? Oh, do we spend a lot of money on a Cisco? I like Cisco, but I think that's an interesting question. I think that's a philosophy question there, and a budget question.
And hey, for him going into the final year of his rookie contract,
Hey, he's got a great opportunity.
And he's got an incredible opportunity.
Just like Josh Allen.
Absolutely.
Just like Josh Allen had last year.
He may not get 20 a year, but yeah.
Let's say Cisco ends up having a year and he ends up with 7 or 8 picks. Cha-ching.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cha-ching.
Timing couldn't be better for him.
Yeah.
So,
which would be great for this team.
It would be fantastic.
I hope he gets 7 or 8 picks. That means this defense is balling.
Yes. Balling?
And they're taking the ball away. Balling.
Yeah. I know what it means.
Yeah, you do? Okay, just making sure you're
just making sure you left off the G.
I've been accused of not using very hip lingo. So I'm going to make sure that was
you.
okay. Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
You're always hip.
Yeah. That's what my son says.
There we are. Keeping it real. Contracts. Big money. No whammies.
Let me ask you this. If you could pick one guy, not Trevor, okay, not Tyson, okay, premium position. If you could pick one guy from the remainder of that list that you would put a priority on.
Priority.
Okay,
and signing now?
And then real quick, give us those names again. Okay, not Trevor, not Tyson. What are those names?
Cam Robinson, Brandon Sheriff, Cisco, Mac Jones, Walker Little, Beathard, Jeremiah Ledbetter, Gotsis, Hance, Caleb Johnson are guys that are all free agents in 25. There's a few others as well.
Give me one guy that you would put as priority number one beyond Trevor and Tyson Campbell.
I mean, what's the future on the offensive line? You know?
I'm asking you.
I don't know.
JPGM.
I mean,
give me an answer. I'm your owner. I need an answer. Who should I spend my money on?
Drafted Cisco, but what kind of money can you spend?
I don't want a conversation. I want a name.
I'm thinking through it. I'm the decision maker here. I don't make rash decisions, Jeff. What's the future of your offensive line?
It's a great question.
Is that on this current list? I don't know. I think that's a big question mark. So there may not be a name on this list that's a priority.
Well, that's fine. That would be an answer too. So either the no name or give me a name.
I don't think there's a name.
Okay, so you say there's not a priority on that list.
I don't think so right now. To sign before this season, no. Let the season play out.
Let me ask you, let me play devil's advocate here.
You can't give everybody money going into the
devil's
final
advocate.
season.
Okay, since Walker Little and Cam Robinson are going to be competing for the left tackle, JP, GM, what are we going to do at left tackle next year if we don't re-sign either one of those guys? What are we going to do?
Anton Harrison plays left.
Okay, then what are we going to do
in college?
What are we going to do it right?
Put the guy you just drafted or go get another one.
Okay, all right.
That's my plan. I don't know.
Okay, and I ask that and I say that just to be a devil's advocate because I'm okay with that.
This is all hypothetical, by the way.
Absolutely.
Obviously, we're just talking in June.
That's what we do.
It's a talk show. That's kind of the whole idea of this thing. That's what I mean. For me,
in agreement with
that. If one of these two guys at left tackle doesn't play to expectations, or both don't, or you're just ready to make a big wholesale change, you do that. But let them show that, and then kind of reboot.
I'm sticking with what I've been saying for a long time, but I agree with you on the Anton Harrison point. I think he's a left tackle all day. He's got great feet. He's got great athleticism. He's a natural left tackle. That's where he needs to be eventually.
However, when Cam Robinson's been out there, the statistics show that they are a better offensive line and football team when he's on the field.
That's why I'm proposing that I'm sticking with Anton Harrison to left tackle, but I'm going to find a way to bring Cam back or Walker Little back at and I don't want to use this term as a knock on the player, but a little bit more of a team-friendlier deal than what may be perceived as, it's going to be definitely less than 16, 17 million a year, but I want to bring one of those guys back to be my right.
Can we just play the season first? Do we have to do this now? They haven't even snapped the ball yet.
Well, the reason we bring it up,
put on pads and training camp yet.
The reason that we have to talk about it now is because, look, I mean, this is the time of year that you can extend guys. This is the time of year, and then typically when you get guys extended at this time of year, you're doing, I guess, I don't want to say you're getting a great deal, but you're getting it for less than you would if you had to wait until next year.
But what
if
they
hit the market?
Want to do it now? What if they want to roll the dice?
That's okay. I'm
not saying they are.
That's the case. Bird in the hand, versus one in the bush for a player. Sometimes that guaranteed money makes a difference and makes them jump at a little less now.
What a conversation.
But it's JP, here's the reality. These are the conversations that agents and GMs are having all the time right now, all the time, because it's a constant communication to find out, can they get something done for the future of this organization? I mean, that's normal. We sit here and we say, well, can't we play the season yet? But the reality is these conversations are going on all the time.
We're on 1010 XLAM, Jaguars.com, Jaguars YouTube. JP Shadrick, Jeff Lageman back in a moment with Microsoft questions. It's Jaguars Happy Hour brought to you by Ancient City Brewing. Taste history, make history.
Ancient City Brewing is celebrating 30 years of Jags football by becoming the proud craft beer partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. And what better way to celebrate a throwback year than to throw back some of their expertly crafted beers? From Augustine's Orange Amber Ale to their Castillo Coconut Porter, there's always something new to discover at Ancient City Brewing, including the new First and Gold Golden Ale, coming soon to a Duval County store near you. Ancient City Brewing, taste history, make history, and please always drink responsibly.
The Jaguars bring performance, strength, and passion to every play. And you'll find the same when you bank with EverBank. Open an EverBank Performance Savings account and score serious savings. See what you could earn at everbank.com/Jaguars. EverBank, advantage you. Member FDIC and the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Have you been looking for a way to positively impact the youth in our community? Become a Take Stock in Children mentor today. For 25 years, Goodwill's Take Stock program has been changing the lives of middle and high school students in Duval, Putnam, and Swanee counties. It offers support through mentoring, college tuition scholarships, and so much more. Take Stock is growing rapidly, and more mentors are needed. For just 1 hour a month during the school year, you can help shape a brighter future. To learn more and apply to be a mentor, visit goodwillnorth-fl.org.
Chelsea here from Renewal by Anderson, where we deliver custom designed energy savings windows and doors. Did you know our unique Fibrix material combines elegance and resilience, offering double the strength of traditional vinyl? Now through June, buy one window or patio door and receive 40% off, plus 0 down, 0 monthly payments, and 0 interest for 12 months. Restrictions apply. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit rbafla.com for details. License number CGC 1527613.
Since 2014, there's been only one official home builder of the Jaguars, Dreamfinders Homes. With quality-built homes and a speedy move-in process, we're in 20-plus communities in the best locations across Northeast Florida. Dreamfinders Homes is everywhere you want to live. So get off the sidelines, Jags fans, and get into the game. Let Dreamfinders help you navigate your home purchase and offer great interest rates. Visit DreamfindersHomes.com for all your move-in ready homes and step up your game.
Don't get sacked by a no-name propane rookie, Jacksonville. Draft an all-star and switch to AmeriGas, the official propane provider of the Jacksonville Jaguars and the homes and businesses who know it was always the Jags. Show off your Duval pride at your next tailgate with a Jaguars grill tank from AmeriGas. To find an AmeriGas exchange location near you or to order a propane fill-up for your home or business, visit AmeriGas.com/Jacksonville-Jaguars or call 844-PRO-JAGS.
Just another bright spot on defense, obviously. He's excited about the new scheme. He's another young player that will be counted on, even in a leadership role, on that defense and amongst the team. And just a great kid. I mean, just humble, hardworking, wants to improve, wants to get better.
Doug Peterson, Jaguars head coach, on Travon Walker, Jaguars outside linebacker, had 10 sacks a season ago. And all reports this offseason that he's been looking very good on the practice field. Welcome back. Final moments of Jaguars Happy Hour. JP Shadrick with Jeff Lageman, 1010XLAM, Jaguars.com, Jaguars YouTube.
He's a big dude.
He is.
You take Josh, who's big right now.
Yes.
Travon, Eric Armstead,
large,
and Mason Smith, and let those four guys be the first ones off the bus.
Right. And then you followed up with Devon Hamilton.
Yeah.
And some of these big wide guys. Yeah.
I mean,
pretty good.
Jordan Jefferson's like 320-pound, 25-pound guy.
Yes.
Devon Hamilton looks like he's about 330.
It's about right.
Eric Armstead,
tall.
God, he's got length. Mason Smith got length. Travon, length. And just freak size. And Josh, kind of the runt of the group.
Yeah, but
he's big.
Geez, come on.
Yeah, he's big.
Let's get to our Microsoft question of the day, and this is from we put the cat signal out on X. Here's the best we came up with today. At Johnny Rago 32, are there any new pieces the Jags need to add before the regular season? If so, what new additions would you add on offense and defense? Go Jags.
I think it's a great question because, in fact, I was thinking about that yesterday a little bit because I don't know if you saw that Trey Herndon just signed with the team. I believe it was the Giants.
Correct.
And so there are still some veteran guys that are out there and available. And does this team need to do anything? I think right now, I don't see any position to where you sit there and you go, hey, we've got to address this.
They've done a pretty good job this offseason.
They really have.
Filling some of those holes.
Filled the holes.
Adding depth, whatever the case may be.
So the answer to that off the tip of my tongue and off the top of my head is no. I think they're okay. I think you got to be careful about trying to play a little bit of musical chairs with your roster, and sometimes you have to stick with what you got to get a good look at it. Because you're only allowed a certain number of guys in training camp, and if you keep just churning 3 or 4 or 5 spots, then you really haven't even had an opportunity to evaluate some of the guys honestly. So a lot of the evaluation's done not so much at what they're showing to you out here in practice, although some of it is, but a lot of that evaluation is based upon what you've looked at on film in the past of these players. But now you need to see them in pads. And so
you know how it goes once camp starts. Then all of a sudden the roster cuts begin, and then the waiver process begins, and then you can start maybe adding a guy here or there, right?
Yeah. So there's always going to be opportunities to improve your roster. But as of right now, is there anybody, JP? I don't know if there's a list that's even out there right now that said there's a list of available free agents. The last time I looked at it, I didn't see anybody on there that I went, wow. That would be a really good addition if we could get that guy. Remember, like last year at this time, Jadeveon Clowney was still out there and still trying to figure out where he wanted to go. Is there a guy like that out there? I don't know. I don't think there is.
I don't know.
I don't think there is.
There you have it. Microsoft question of the day.
Yes, you're good. I think we're good. I think this team is good right now. When I say good, I mean
yeah.
You don't need to go out there and do anything crazy and. Because the reality is that a lot of the premium talent is gone. And what's out there is kind of like what I just brought up, Trey Herndon. Could a Trey Herndon at a different position help this football team right now? I think they've done a pretty good job in the offseason with free agency and the draft, and I think let's ride a little bit, and then we'll see where we're at.
Yeah, reassess.
Yeah.
When the time is right. We're done until August with this show. Veterans Report July 23rd. Okay. On the field July 24th for the start of training camp.
Pads will be
probably the week after that.
28th, 29th, something like that.
Somewhere in there.
Okay.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that too. And I hope, this is you have this period of time, where players have that free time. And you hope that it's all used in a wise fashion. And I'm sure that Doug Peterson talked to the players about, hey, look, take care of your bodies, take care of your mind, stay out of trouble, do the right thing. And, when there's some rosters I think that you're very concerned about, guys. And I've watched teams here in the past where you're like, I don't know if we're going to make it through this little, period of time for training camp and have an incident-free period of time. But I think this is a pretty good roster of character, and I'm pretty confident that they're going to be good.
We'll talk to you in a month and a half.
Looking forward to it.
That's Jeff Lageman. I'm JP Shadrick. Our thanks to Brent Reber, David Cho, and Joe Fortunato. And thanks to you for listening and watching. It's Jaguars Happy Hour, brought to you by Ancient City Brewing. Taste history, make history.